നമ്മുടെ ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാം നമുക്ക് ആരംഭിക്കാം. ഈ പ്രാവശ്യത്തെ വിജയ വഴിയിലേക്ക് എല്ലാവരെയും സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു. പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട രൂപൻ അച്ഛനാണ് ഇന്ന് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. എല്ലാവരുടെയും പേരിൽ, തിരുമേനിയുടെ പേരിൽ വന്നുകൂടിയിരിക്കുന്ന നിങ്ങൾ ഓരോരുത്തരുടെയും പേരിൽ സന്തോഷത്തോടെ രൂപൻ അച്ഛനെ അതിനായി ക്ഷണിക്കുന്നു.
ദൈവത്തിന്റെ നാമം വാഴ്ത്തപ്പെടുമാറാകട്ടെ. വിജയവഴിയുടെ യാത്രയിൽ വീണ്ടും ഒരു സെഷനിൽ നമുക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും പങ്കുചേരുവാൻ ദൈവം ഇടയാക്കുന്നതിന് ദൈവത്തിന് സ്തോത്രം കരയറ്റുന്നു. അനുയോജ്യമായിട്ടുള്ളതായ നേതൃത്വം നമുക്ക് ലഭിക്കുമ്പോൾ അതിനോട് പ്രതിബദ്ധമായി നമുക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും അനുഗ്രഹീതമായിട്ടുള്ളതായ പങ്കാളിത്തം വഹിപ്പാൻ ദൈവം ഇടയാക്കട്ടെ എന്ന്
അച്ഛൻ കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യാം. രൂപൻ അച്ഛൻ
അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ലെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു.
രൂപൻ അച്ഛൻ കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യാം. അച്ഛന്റെ വോയിസ് കട്ടായി പോകുന്നുണ്ട്. നിങ്ങളുടെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും പേരിൽ എല്ലാവരെയും സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു. പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട ഷാജി തോമസ് സാറ് പ്രാരംഭ പ്രാർത്ഥനയ്ക്ക് നേതൃത്വം നൽകും. എല്ലാവരുടെയും പേരിൽ ഷാജി സാറിനെ സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു.
നമുക്ക് ദൈവസന്നിധിയിൽ കൂടി നമ്മളെ സമർപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാമിലേക്ക് കടക്കാം. വാഴ്ത്തപ്പെട്ട ഞങ്ങളുടെ സ്വർഗസ്ഥ പരമപിതാവേ, ദിവസം ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് തന്നതിനായി മനോഹരമായ ഈ ലോകത്തിലായിരിക്കുന്നതിനും എന്നെ സ്തുതിക്കുന്നതിനൊക്കെ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ലഭിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന അവസരങ്ങളെ നിന്റെ ദാനമായി കാണുകയും നന്ദിയോടെ ഞങ്ങൾ അവയെ സ്വീകരിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നു. കർത്താവേ, ഞങ്ങൾ ഓരോരുത്തരും ചെയ്യുന്ന പ്രവൃത്തികളൊക്കെയും ദൈവനാമം മഹിമയ്ക്ക് ഉതകുന്നതായി തീരുവാൻ ഇടയാകണമെന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾ പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുന്നു. കർത്താവേ, വിജയവഴി പ്രോഗ്രാമിലൂടെ ഭദ്രാസനമായി ഞങ്ങളുടെ കുഞ്ഞുങ്ങൾക്ക് നൽകുന്ന പ്രചോദനം, ഉത്തേജനം ഇതൊക്കെയും പ്രയോജനകരമായി തീരുവാൻ ഇടയാക്കണമേ നിങ്ങൾ പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുന്നു. കർത്താവേ, ഇതിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കുന്ന എല്ലാ കുഞ്ഞുങ്ങളെയും ഞങ്ങൾ ദൈവസന്നിധി സമർപ്പിക്കുന്നു. കർത്താവേ, ദൈവഹിതം അറിഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട്, ദൈവത്തെ അറിഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് ഈ ലോകത്തിൽ പല മേഖലകളിൽ എത്തുവാനും അതിനുള്ള വഴി കണ്ടെത്തുവാനും ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഈ വിജയവഴി അവർക്ക് ഓരോരുത്തർക്കും പ്രയോജനപ്പെടുവാൻ ഇടയാകണമേ ഞങ്ങൾ പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുന്നു. കർത്താവേ, നേതൃത്വം കൊടുക്കുന്ന അച്ഛന്മാരെയും മറ്റ് നേതൃത്വം കൊടുക്കുന്ന ആളുകളെയൊക്കെ ഞങ്ങൾ ദൈവസന്നിധി സമർപ്പിക്കുന്നു. കർത്താവേ, അവരുടെ ഒക്കെയും കഴിവുകളും താലന്തുകളും സഭയ്ക്കും സമൂഹത്തിനും പ്രയോജനം ആകത്തക്ക രീതിയിൽ ഉപയുക്തമാക്കുന്നതിനായിട്ട് ഞങ്ങൾ അങ്ങനെ സ്തുതിക്കുന്നു. നാഥ, ഞങ്ങളുടെ കഴിവുകളെ എടുത്തുപയോഗിക്കണമേ. ഞങ്ങളുടെ എല്ലാ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളിലും അങ്ങയുടെ സാന്നിധ്യം കൂടെ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കണമേ. എല്ലാ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളിലും ദൈവസാന്നിധ്യം കൂടെ ഇരുന്ന് വഴി നടത്തണമേ എന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾ പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുന്നു. കർത്താവേ, യേശുവിന്റെ നാമത്തിൽ പ്രാർത്ഥന കൃപയോടെ കേൾക്കണമേ. ആമേൻ.
വന്നുകൂടിയിരിക്കുന്ന എല്ലാവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം അർപ്പിക്കാനായി തേവലക്കര സെന്ററിലെ അക്സ മെറിൻ എബ്രഹാമിനെ ക്ഷണിച്ചുകൊള്ളും.
ഹലോ.
കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
Okay. Praise be to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Nelson Mandela once said, "The youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow." Good evening, one and all. Right Reverend Dr. Abraham R. Paulos Episcopa Tirumeni, Major General M.K. Varghese Panicker Sir, Achins, parents, and all my dear friends. As you all know, today we have gathered here for yet another meeting of the Vijayavazhi program conducted by our Adoor Diocese for school and college-going students, emphasizing the importance of various aspects and skills required to compete in this world. And the amount of impacts and changes that this program has brought, I'm sure, in all our lives is absolutely phenomenal. First of all, I'd like to welcome our diocesan episcopal, Right Reverend Dr. Abraham Maur Paulos Episcopa, who has been an unstaggering source of support to this graceful occasion. Next, I'd like to invite our main speaker for the day, Major General M.K. Varghese Panicker, sir, who is present here to speak about group discussions and the various aspects that we ought to keep in mind while preparing for one. Sir has always been a pivotal source of guidance from the very initial days of our Vijayavazhi program. Major General M.K. Varghese Panicker, sir, is a senior strategic planner, operational management and training professional. The general was commissioned into the Garhwal Rifles in September 1970. He is a true academician who has earned postgraduate degrees in strategic studies in higher security management and MPhil in management and many more. A veteran of the 1971 Indo-Pak War, he has held many coveted appointments like the military advisor to Deputy Chief of Army Staff, Group Testing Officer, and many other distinguished positions. The general has acquitted himself extremely well in the army, which earned him the prestigious Vishishta Seva Medal from the President of India, in addition to the Chief of Army Staff's commendation for gallantry twice. I now deem it a great honor to welcome such an eminent and charismatic personality as our chief guest today. Moving forward, I welcome all the urchins of our diocese who have toiled day and night to make this program a huge success every single time. I believe it is indeed a great blessing for all of us to have such a vibrant team of urchins to guide us throughout. Finally, I would like to welcome all my dear friends and teachers and parents, the air and soul of our event, without whom this program would not have reaped the success it has today. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Aksam Marin
Thank you.
Abraham, for the
Thank you,
bright
sir.
way of welcoming each one of us. We move on to the main talk as Right Reverend Dr. Abraham Paulos Episcopa is not available as of now. We heartily welcome Major General M.K. Varghese Panicker to speak on the main topic for our discussion today, which is group discussion, as well as the way in which you can participate, as well as the way to moderate such discussions. So I heartily welcome Major General M.K. Varghese Panicker to lead the session.
Sir, unmute Akamo.
Yes, sir.
Well, can you hear me, Acha?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's quite some time that I have spoken to the Vijayavazhi group. Ever since we have started on the online training, I was only been standby to ensure that everything goes well. Today I've got an opportunity to speak to all of you on a subject very dear to my heart. And I am sure you will find this useful in your progress, in your preparation for your competitive exams. Now, I shall be sharing my screen to show you certain slides. And while I show you the slides, and also I'll explain to you the salient aspects as shown in the slide, I request all of you to mute your devices so that no disturbances take place. If I'm going in a fast pace, please tell me that I'll slow up my pace, because there are so many things which I want to convey you within the short time available. All right, I'm going to share the screen. Right. The aim is to acquaint with all of you with the group discussion. Can you see the screen, most of you?
Yes, sir.
Can you all see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, what is group discussion? This is a methodology used by the employers to gauge whether a candidate has certain leadership or personality traits which will go to make them a good leader. That is the reason why most of the multinationals and also within the country or the business groups, they carry out a group discussion before selecting anybody for in their assignments. Now, why a group discussion is conducted? Gentlemen, boys and girls, the group discussion will display whether you can function well in a team, as a part of the team. Now, as you know that we will be working in a group. You will have your boss, you will have your subordinates, you will have your peers and everybody. Now, it is there the leadership of yours is not noted. So therefore, how you interact in a team becomes an important criteria for your selection. Some salient aspects on personality traits that a candidate should possess to do well in the GD are as follows. Would be a good team player. It is essential that all of you should become good leaders to become a team player. When I say team player, a candidate in the beginning of their career works as a team member and thereafter grows on to become a team leader. Now, a person who does not have leadership qualities would not be able to become a good leader. So therefore, the first thing which you should consider that you should become a team leader. So that capability to merge in the team and do well. The next point is the reasoning ability. It goes without saying, the reasoning ability in a human being plays an important role while you expose yourself, while you express your opinions and ideas in anything. For example, what I've written here is reduction in IAM's fees will affect the quality. If I say this, I should be able to convince my audience that the fees which you pay in IAM if we reduce, and therefore the quality of people joining IAM will also be poor. If I don't convince, if I don't reason it out, nobody is going to buy my theory like this. Now, another issue is the leadership. There are very many types of leaders, particularly in group discussion. There are three types of people who take part in the leadership. Some people will participate and do not speak much. They'll just keep quiet as a passenger. What the others are talking, they'll listen and keep quiet. The other group is, when they get the subject, they become emotionally charged, become exuberant, and the whole GD by everyone talking each other and crosstalk becomes chaotic. And the third group is those who participate in nuts and bolts logically and assertively by touching all aspects and nuances and try to reach the goal or the objective which you have set out. So the leadership, as I have talked as a team player, here again it comes, that is your capability to become or display your leadership by one amongst them. Now, a leader should have minimum the following qualities. A person should be able to show direction to the group where the group moves away or from the topic. It is generally seen when we discuss a group discussion or any discussion for that matter, people get strayed to the irrelevant facts. They don't focus on to the main issue and they keep going away from this. Then another quality which occurs, he or she should coordinate the effort of the different team members in the group to achieve the aim. Next is, he or she should contribute in the GD at regular endeavors with valuable insights. Also, they should be able to inspire and motivate the team members to express their views. That is to say, some people keep quiet. Maybe they are not getting an opportunity to talk, in which case the person who wants to do well should try and draw their attention and ask them or motivate them to express their views so that we can get benefited by their views. Now, being a mere coordinator or just say, okay, so and so, please join us, that doesn't make any difference because you are not contributing, you are just becoming an MC or a compare of the meeting. Contribute your group discussion, the group discussion with your ideas, opinions, and try to steer the conversation towards the goal. The next important issue is assertiveness. You must put forth your point to the group in a very emphatic and positive and confident manner. Do not confuse assertiveness with your aggressiveness. Now, the assertiveness is different and aggressiveness is different. Assertiveness is that when you emphatically explain something and express your views so that others understand what exactly you are mentioning. Just a minute, there's some screen share. Yeah. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Aggressiveness is all about forcing your point of view to the other person and can be a threat to the group. If you remain forcing it, your own view to the entire group, that becomes counterproductive. An aggressive person can also demonstrate negative body language, whereas an assertive person displays a positive body language to people. Next point is flexibility, an approach, flexible approach in your discussion. You must be open to the others' ideas, as well as to the evaluation of yours. While you have spoken your ideas, you must also listen and absorb the others' ideas. Never ever start the group discussion with a stand that this is correct and what I'm saying is correct. No, that's not the way. If you encounter a position with very strong points at the 11th hour, as the discussion is about to come to close and somebody has opposed you with a very strong point, you end up as a loser. But if you change your stand frequently, you will be considered as a fickle-minded person. That means you don't have fickle-minded means that you don't have a firm mind and you are a whimsical person. But if in case you don't change your stand, you are seen as an inflexible and stubborn person. So therefore you have to have a happy mix. Talk your point, let them understand what you are talking and leave it. They will come to your way of thinking and they will join you later. The next point is initiative. Okay, what do you understand by initiative? Anyone? Anyone in the audience? Speak up. I'm not hearing anybody who's not doing. Okay. Now, initiative is to start something. In a bike or a car, there's a self-starter switch. You are initiating the car or the mechanism. Exactly the same meaning here, that you start the meeting, you talk the first person as the group discussion gang. But there's a general trend that somebody will just start the discussion and leave, thinking that he will get the kitty points earmarked for the initiator. That's a wrong thinking. If you don't contribute, you will get nothing. Initiate a group discussion only if you are well versed with the subject, and if you start and fail to contribute at regular intervals, it gives the impression that you started the group discussion just for the sake of the initial points. When I say initial points, the assessor is watching you constantly. There may be one, there may be a group of people who are watching you what you're talking. So if you start the discussion in the beginning with a lot of josh and thereafter keep quiet, then you'll realize this man has finished his gas. And a gas means we finished the knowledge on the subject. So it should not be. You should continue to contribute your valuable ideas to the group. Also, if you fumble, stammer, or misquote the facts, which is known to others, it may work against you. So do not throw a line and go away. Remember, you never ever get a second chance to create a first impression. As we all know, first impression is the best impression. Therefore, if you create the first impression, it's definitely good for you, but the impression should be good. Now, the next point is the creativity in you, or the capability to think out of the box. That is to say, an idea or a perspective which opens new horizon in the group for discussion, it will be very highly appreciated. For instance, while we are talking about all these things, if you are talking about introducing a subject of importance of technology in whichever subject you are talking about, obviously you are giving your creative ideas, and it is not a set piece thinking, it is out of the box thinking. So therefore, try and bring in such remote though ideas so that everybody else start thinking about it. Now, when you put across a new idea convincingly, it is, I'm sure the group will discuss it for a prolonged period, and it can be only positive. It will go to your credit that this person has brought in good points and therefore it should be selected. Inspiring ability. A good group discussion should incorporate views of all team members. Now, if there are 10 of you, generally the group will be from 6 to 10. As per the group theory, the group is composite in case there are 6 to 10 people. If it is less than 6, then the group mechanism or the group cohesion doesn't take place. If it is more than 6, then there can be subgroups creation in that. The group will generally remain for a test for a scientific method is 6 to 10 people. So you must ensure that all of you contribute for this discussion. Now, if some people want to express something, talk something, but they're not getting an opportunity to express it because of various other compulsions, there may be a bully in the group who does not permit anybody else speak and he want to take the center stage all the time. If that be so, try and give them an opportunity to speak. Now, listening. Always try and listen and not hear. Now, listen what they are talking, absorb it, imbibe it, add on to your views, and then come out. So that'll be very good. Then the awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most important aspect of group discussion. Maybe after capability or public speak, this is the most important one. Awareness of the whole world, awareness of your immediate surroundings, your periphery, around the whole world, and your own perceptions on that. That means collect information, you modulate yourself and create in yourself. That is called awareness. Now you must be well versed with both micro and macro environment. Let's say, giving an example, let's say now the fight or the battle between Russia and Ukraine is going on. You should be able to tell them as to what was NATO, what was Warsaw Pact, what are the importance, and what was World War I, their position, what was during World War II, and then what is Americans and the Europeans thinking, why Russia is doing all these things. That is the macro level. But micro level, you should know the problems which the people are facing in Crimea, for instance, or in Ukraine. So you must be well versed with both micro and macro environmental issues. That will create an impact in the group discussion. Your awareness about your environment helps a lot in your group discussion content, which carries maximum weightage. That's why when I said when the awareness heading came up, this is the most important thing which you should be doing. Apart from the awareness fact or other qualities, your communication skill, the capability to express properly, confidence, and the ability to think on one's feet are also very important. When I say think on one's own feet means, when you get a new idea from somebody, sitting there or standing there, you start thinking and bring out your viewpoint on it. So therefore, your communication skill in speaking the language, either English or Malayalam, whatever you like, should be very good. You must develop the communication skill as it goes. Now, how a group discussion is conducted. A few minutes I'll explain to you. You see a diagram. Can you all see the diagram? A sketch where about 10 people are sitting in a circle and an outsider person with a topi, a cap, sitting beside. That's a typical group discussion which takes place on outdoors. A group discussion can also take place inside a room or a hall. But again, the philosophy remains. So they will be put together in a centralized or a circular fashion or a linear fashion or an arc fashion so that everybody can see each other. And you will definitely be given some kind of identity, maybe a number, maybe a name put on a chain and things like that. So this is the way which is being conducted. Generally, the candidates are set like this and discuss the topic for about 20 minutes or so. So you remain, if you divide this 20 minutes by 10 people, you get only 2 minutes. Though it is not like this, it is never a division of minutes or what it is. What you speak and the content is more important than the time which you take in talking. Okay. One most important thing during conduct is you have the freedom to speak when you like, what you like, or as many times you like. That means to say, you may not be following a sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, anybody can speak from anywhere and you have the freedom. And whenever you like, without interrupting the other person, when a person is talking and giving a pause, get in and start talking. What you like means what you like, what are your good points, you speak, and as many times as you want. It is not necessary to think that I have spoken once, fine, my quota is finished. No. In a group discussion, it is a leaderless group. You are not coming into a conclusion. You are talking, giving your viewpoint. Don't confuse group discussion with a debate. In a debate, you would ultimately come to some conclusion. Here it is not so. You pick your viewpoint, and the assessor who is now sitting behind these people will see what you are talking. I will make up a mind. Generally, in all group discussions, they'll give you 3 leads to speak, and any one of the leads you can pick up. Giving an example, who serves the nation best? I'm giving an example, understand it. Who serves the nation best? A teacher, 2, a doctor, 3, a soldier. I'll give you 3 options. You can say, sir, I would like to speak on the teacher. Then you start explaining. I say a teacher because he or she, a teacher, builds up a child. From the embryo, she develops that child to think properly and then go reach the higher pinnacles. The other person can say, no, sir, no, all these things are fine. The soldiers who are guarding our country so that we can develop, they are most important. So this is why I said the 3 examples which I gave it to you. And any one subject you can take, or if you want to take all the 3, I can say, sir, all 3 of them serve the country. The teacher has got a very important role, so as the doctors. If there are no doctors, there are a number of patients, nobody will grow properly and contribute to the nation. And then I equally say, if our borders are not protected, with the soldiers we cannot develop. So to my mind, I find all the 3 are important for nation building. Again, I got to, not just saying that, I got to prove each point. I hope you have understood my example. Okay. Now, what does the GD check, or what does the assessor checking from you when you are taking part in a group discussion? First thing is, how do you behave? Are you participating and contributing in the group? How much importance you give to the group objective as well as your own? How well do you listen to viewpoints of others? How open-minded are you in accepting views contrary to your own? The aspects which make up a good GD are verbal communication, non-verbal behavior, conformation to the norms of decision-making, ability, and cooperation. Now, I will repeat this again, important aspects. The assessor is looking at you or hearing you saying your gesticulations, behavioral pattern, and your participation method. Are you contributing in the group, or you are just sitting idle? How much importance do you give to the group objective as well as your own? Because you have spoken something and our group objective is something, of course, joining the group objective only, but are you remaining within the limits of this objective? Another aspect is you listen to the viewpoint of others. Advantage of listening to others carefully and analyzing is that while you listen to others, you will also get some good idea and you can grow on, you can further develop your view. Now, sometimes some people may come out with some ideas which are totally contradicting your idea. Doesn't matter. Take that as an advantage for you to develop your view. Now, as earlier I said, a good person, a good candidate should be able to speak very well, verbal communication. There is no written communication here. Sorry. Verbal communication, your non-verbal communication, your behavioral pattern, and acceptable behavior pattern in the society. Now, this is what, if they're objecting, then what should be done by a candidate during the GD? നിങ്ങൾ എന്താണ് GD-യുടെ സമയത്ത് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? ആദ്യമായിട്ട് നിങ്ങളുടെ അസസർ നിങ്ങളുടെ അടുത്ത് പറയും, ഇങ്ങനെയാണ്, ഇതൊക്കെയാണ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടുന്നത്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇതാണ് സബ്ജക്ട്. So you pay attention to the briefing and other thing and listen very carefully to others talk. അടുത്തത്, become a leader. You take a lead. And in case you could not lead the discussion, take your turn. ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ചെറിയ പോസ് കിട്ടുമ്പോൾ അവിടെ എത്തിച്ചാടുക. Now, be logical and try to convince others. ഒരു സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കി പറഞ്ഞതിന് ശേഷം വെറുതെ അതിന്റെ കാര്യമില്ല. What statement you have made, you try to convince by logical reasoning. You must speak and participate constructively. For instance, ഞാൻ ഇത് ഈ ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആർമി, എയർഫോഴ്സ്, നേവിയിൽ ഉള്ള സെലക്ഷൻ സെന്ററിൽ ഈ അസസർ ആയിരുന്നു. ഒരുപാട് ആയിരക്കണക്കിന് ഡിസ്കഷൻ ഞാൻ നടത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്, ഞാൻ വാച്ച് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. പല കുട്ടികളും അമ്പരന്ന് അങ്ങ് ഇരിക്കുകയല്ലാതെ സംസാരിക്കില്ല. And we are not permitted to coax anybody to talk. If they want, after all, he has come for getting selected. So therefore, let them talk. We don't want to talk. Fine, good enough. We'll go back without getting selected. Therefore, you must speak and participate constructively. When I say constructively, with worthwhile points. Accept others' point of view. Now, somebody else is saying contrary to what you are saying. Accept that point of view, whatever it is worth. Do not condemn a person. Of course, they may be having some views in this. And as I have said earlier, listen and not just to hear. Listen and start mitigating. Do not force your way. Instead, converse productively and seek to understand than to be understood. Converse productively. നല്ലതായിട്ട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ പറഞ്ഞ് ആ ഗ്രൂപ്പിനെ മനസ്സിലാക്കി, അപ്പോൾ it will create an impact to the group as well as the assessor. Now initiate the discussion if you can, but you should only join the discussion in case you are unable to initiate. As I have said earlier, you initiate the discussion if you are well aware of what is happening or what is the content of the discussion. Just don't jump into initiation if you don't know anything. Otherwise, wait for one or two people to speak, understand the nuances of the subject, and then join in an early stage. What I'm now talking to is what you should be doing or how should you do during the group discussion. Be polite while asserting or putting across your point, and then logically in a convincing language. You don't have to shout. You don't have to stand on anybody's head. You sit there, talk logically and assertively. Do not expect that everybody will hear your point. No, notwithstanding that, you speak, give your viewpoint, whether they take it or not. Now, very important thing is this point. During the course of the discussion, if your views are found incorrect or proved incorrect, be gracious to accept the same. And do not get discouraged. Yo, ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞ തെറ്റിപ്പോയല്ലോ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് പിന്നീട് സംസാരിക്കാതിരിക്കരുത്. അത് അഡ്ജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് മുന്നോട്ട് പോകണം. ഒരുപക്ഷെ സംഭവിക്കാം നമ്മൾ ചിന്തിച്ചത് വേറൊന്നാണ്, പറഞ്ഞത് ഒന്നാണ്, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കാര്യം സംഭവിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ don't worry about it. Just change as the situation comes. Be calm. Do not get excited or get argumentative. There are some people, there are some bullies in any group who will provoke you. And that is acceptable. That should be understood. This is their characteristics of behavior. In the general course, particularly when you are in a group where maximum dominated by North Indians, I'm not saying North Indians are bad, but there are people who are bullies from North India, I have seen it in the group discussion many times, and I've taken recourse to tell them, no, hold it, don't do that. Anyway, do not use any abusive language, understand others' point of view, and encourage non-participant to, and do not over-dominate. That is to say, if you're good in the subject which you're talking, and your vocabulary is good, you would feel like keep on talking. Then that becomes a overdrive, domination for others. Similarly, there will be people, maybe people from not as exposed as you are, maybe from rural areas, who was not well exposed or did not have the latest technological help. They may not talk, in which case you may draw their attention and encourage them to speak to. Now, as I said earlier, there would be a tendency of creating subgroup. For instance, in one of my groups where I was doing the selection, 4 മലയാളികൾ ചേർന്ന് കൊച്ചു ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഉണ്ടാക്കി. അവര് ബാക്കിയുള്ളവരെല്ലാം നോർത്ത് ഇന്ത്യൻസ് ആയിരുന്നു. These 4 Malayali boys were sitting. അവർ മലയാളത്തിൽ പറയുന്നത്, they didn't know because I was a Malayali, because we don't wear any name plates. Even if my name plate is worn, it is Panicker. Panicker is a vast area. So they didn't know that I am a Malayali, and they are within group, they created a subgroup and started talking. That will go against you. Now, use simple language. Do not use very high sounding language and common words of expression. Maintain an audible modulation while speaking. Neither you shout nor mumble. Most important thing is, do not, after making a good statement, don't look at the assistant. Sir, do not try to conclude the discussion. Maintain a normal posture, avoid gesticulating. കൈകൊണ്ടും കാലുകൊണ്ടും തലകൊണ്ടും ഒക്കെ അനക്കി സംസാരിക്കുന്നതോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ പോയിന്റ് ഇംപ്രസ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയോ എപ്പോഴും ചെയ്ത, but yes, you can do it once in a while. Display a very confident body language all the time. As I said earlier, don't be a bully or sarcastic person, and remain genuinely concerned about the group. Now, what is the objective of a candidate when you go for a group discussion? What could be the objective? ഞാൻ എന്തിനാ ഒരു group discussion participate ചെയ്യുന്നത്? To be noticed by making valuable and meaningful contribution. ഒരു group discussion പോയി നമ്മൾ സംസാരിക്കുന്നതിന്റെ ഉദ്ദേശം, ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് അവർ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കണം, അവർ കേൾക്കണം, എനിക്ക് നോളജ് ഉണ്ടെന്ന് അവർ അറിയണം. അതിന് വെറുതെ പറ്റില്ല, അതിനുവേണ്ടി പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യണം. So these are the issues which I'm going to talk to you now, that you should prepare. Practice public speaking. Public speaking is speaking to a group, speaking to your own family, your friends, your college, your boys or girls group, and the like. Increase your knowledge by reading newspaper, magazine discussions, and attending or seeing the TV discussions which we get in good TV media. Instead of seeing and wasting your time in seeing the serials, you see the discussion which take place in NDTV or BBC and the like. Remember, the best method of acquiring knowledge is reading newspaper. Get a good English newspaper, maybe Hindu, maybe Times of India, maybe Indian Express, whichever you can lay hand, read it. And cut the important news items or international items and keep it in a file, international file, national file, scientific file, and which can be used for revising as the time comes for your interview or for the discussion. Make points when you say. You make points in a ഒരു ചെറിയ 200 പേജുള്ള ഒരു ബുക്ക് വാങ്ങിച്ചിട്ട് make small points, make points and prioritize them and keep it, so that you can revise it a day prior to your interview or your discussion. Verbal expression. Speak correctly, coherently, and be flexible. I know most of you are now studying in English medium. Though in Kerala, the English medium is only for namesake, there are not very many people who can articulate well in English. But therefore, you try and understand it from elsewhere or by listening to these media and the like. Avoid being verbose and loud. Body language to reflect your confidence. Develop confidence. Develop confidence. Now, what is gauged and seen in group discussion? Your confidence, your logical, are you logical or generalized issues? Ideas, are your ideas straight? I mean, simple or copied or sound? Practical, or do you retain your childish attitude, childish illusions? Now, optimistic or uncritical, are you receptive or non-receptive? Repetitive or you have a new line of thought? Now, content of your views, manner of advocating your views, your assertiveness, impression on others, your social adaptability. That means with your group, the people whom you are sitting around with, are you adaptable? Is your behavior, is your adjustment is proper? Are you flexible enough? The ability to work in a team. Now, these are the salient aspects which you require for a group participation or a group discussion. Now, if you have any questions, please ask me now. Are there any questions? No? A few of you can be seen by me, others I can't see.
നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യാം. സാറിനോട് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ചോദിക്കേണ്ടത് ചോദിക്കാം. വീഡിയോസ് ഒക്കെ ഓൺ ചെയ്യാമെങ്കിൽ ഒരു communication direct we can do now.
Do I take that you all have understood what I said, or you have not understood anything? Okay. Right. If that be so, now we are going to do a little practice amongst you, and for that practice there are volunteers required. Please put up your hand and we'll see you as to who all want to participate in this. Volunteers. Acha, can you see them? I can't see them. Jojecha? Okay.
Yes, I can see.
Brilliant Viju has raised the hand. One
Sure.
more party, one more person has raised.
John Matthew and Dia. 3.
John Matthew, Sean
John.
Matthew. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Welcome all of you. Though I would have loved to have a minimum 6 of you together, I am going to give you a subject, and in whatever way you want to discuss it for the benefit of others. Surprisingly, very few people have come, not understanding that Okay. Now, can you see me in the screen, Sean?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
All right. In the ongoing Russo-Ukraine battle, or the battle between Ukraine and Russia, we see a number of brilliant students from Kerala who are studying there for MBBS faculty in Ukraine are stranded without any hope for completing their degree, medical degree. They have gone to the other country like Ukraine or even Australia, US and the like, with a hope that they can get their degree and come back and serve or pursue their profession in India. Why they have gone is generally they were unable to get a proper seat here in Kerala. Though we have a number of medical colleges, both government and private medical colleges, but they could not get admission due to their lower percentile in the NEET entrance examination and the like. Now, we cannot permit this malady to continue. We have to find a remedy. What, in your opinion, should be the remedy for preventing this exodus from Kerala? One, shall we reconsider the scoring pattern of NEET? Second, shall we increase the number of medical colleges and medical schools in the country and its allied facilities? Or lastly, shall we admit people purely based on their 12th class merit? I repeat this question. Shall we consider the NEET score, or the lower the NEET score? Second is increase the number of medical colleges in Kerala. And shall we select boys and girls only based on the 12th class standard or the 12th +2 marks? Now, discussion is open to all of you. Please start.
Sir, can we close this share screen? Yeah, thank you.
ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യനിൽ ഡൗട്ട് ഒന്നുമില്ലല്ലോ?
No, sir.
ഉണ്ടോ?
ഇല്ലില്ല.
Yeah, okay. Start. Any one of you can. I said you can start from anywhere, anytime, as many time as you want. So you three of you have raised your hand. I'm sure with your knowledge, with your preparation, you all of you should be ready. Then why waste this time? Grab the opportunity. You know, in a discussion like this, when we tell the boys to start, there'll be 2 to 3 boys and girls will start up and start studying at the same time. Okay, go ahead.
First of all, most of the students who have gone to Ukraine or other countries studying, that's mostly because the high cost of studying in medical education within the country. So the government can introduce plans like giving financial aid to the students by giving more scholarship opportunities within the medical students. So increasing the number of medical colleges, I don't think it's not quite possible. It requires a lot of budget. As a developing country like India, I don't think it's quite possible for increasing the number of medical colleges. It requires with allied equipment. It needs a lot of money and a lot of area. It requires a lot of years to complete it. It may become a long term when we look at a long term prospect. It's a good idea, creating more and more medical colleges. But we also need not only medical colleges, we also need other institutions. So we can't really increasing the number of medical colleges will help us. So increasing the number of needed seats in public and private sectors is a good idea, as it can and also it can help the current student. It will also help in the current situation, as most of the Indian students who have dropped out of the Ukraine crisis are trying to continue their education. So increasing the seat there are many students who are of various stages who have come as evacuees to the Kerala. So increasing the seats also a good opportunities for the first year, second year students for getting into the desired college within the country. With the help of financial aid, they can complete their studies within the country as an Indian medical student rather than a foreign medical graduate. And also there are more and they can make these increasing the seats, which will also help, and relaxing the rules of foreign medical initiative act, foreign medical graduate license regulation act, which will help in all the students who are complete the education internship in the foreign countries to do their for internship in the same foreign country who have done their studies. So making some amendments in the rules, they can be made into the Indian, they can be brought into India as a foreign medical graduate with clearing the entrance screening test of India. So they will become the members of our own healthcare system without much more problems, and which will help in getting the best education within their own country and helping the India's healthcare system to promote. As India is a genius, India produces many genius, but our gems are not really utilized by our own people. It's really going outwards. So in giving more generating giving financial aid and generating more scholarship, giving more seats to the improving the seats of public and private sector, public and private medical colleges, which will help them in a great way.
I think that the second option is more favorable, because increasing the seat, the more students can enter the medical colleges, because now we know the medical seats are very low, because the students leaving the school are not able to enter the medical colleges because of less seats. We know that in a year, more than 16 lakh people are writing NEETs, but only approximately 1 lakh students are only getting admission for medical seats. So by increasing the number of seats, we can find more skillful persons. But we know by increasing the number of seats, we must also increase the number of colleges. But if we increase the number of colleges, we must look at the quality and the infrastructure of the colleges. So there must be more government affiliated colleges, and we know that most of the people are not interested in the local area. Because of less seats, the India has a less number of doctors. Now the ratio of doctors is reduced to increased to 1 to 1,700. The ratio proposed by the government was 1 to 1,000. So the number of doctors in India are less. So we can the main problem, the students are going to Ukraine because the availability of seats is less, because there are less colleges. I think so. So by increasing number of seats, the most of the students can study in India. We know that most of the persons are writing NEET for 3 and 4 times and still not able to enter medical colleges because of less number of seats. If we increase the number of seats, most of the students can get admissions. So it is one of the most favorable solutions for students studying in Ukraine. So I think second option is more favorable.
In my point of view, the first one is correct because lowering the NEET score and increasing number of government seats would be more favorable because at the present situation of the COVID-19, we understood the importance of the medical field and the doctors, nurses, and those persons who work for us. So by seeing that many students or many people or the students who are studying plus two, maybe many students may be interested in those fields and they may like to join those courses. And by seeing those situations, we understood the negative impact of not having good facilities for medical field and the bad impact of having poor medical facilities in the crucial time. So here comes the changes which we should make in our NEET entrance examinations and the medical fields. So in my point of view, they should increase the number of seats or by lowering the NEET score. That by that many students, many capable students may be able to join those courses in our country itself, which can reduce the number of students who are going countries like Ukraine for those medical courses. As compared to our country, the main difference is that in Ukraine, there's an availability of many cheap courses at lower rate. That's one of the main thing why many students migrate from our country to those other countries. So one other thing is the payment or the fees which is offered or the which is set by the medical colleges. They should also reduce that. Even if we got a good seat in or medical in a rank seat in the medical examination, they ask us to pay even extra fees for entering those colleges. So because of that, many students may not be coming from a good background. Students who are coming from the poor background may not be able to pay those fees. So that's why many students may be going to those countries. For example, for 6 years of MBBS course, in Ukraine, the students may only pay less amount. As compared to India, they have to pay for the same course. They cost them about 4 times of that amount which they pay in Ukraine. So in my point of view, they should lower the NEET score and increase the number of seats, and they should also reduce the payment which is set by the the colleges who offer these courses for medical field. So that would reduce the number of students who are going for out of our country, and if they are doing these kind of things, it will help our students to study in our country itself, and it will be good for even the Indian students also to study in our own country, in our own homeland. So from my point of view, that's the thing.
Right, right, right. We have heard your views. Mostly, you all are conforming to the pattern which I explained to you, but all three of you did not logically say what you wanted to say. You could have said what is the advantage of reducing or the score or lowering the score, advantages and disadvantages. Similarly, increasing the number of colleges and giving more seats for admission, reducing the cost of education, all these things would have been analyzed one by one. If you have done this, probably the assessor will see, yes, there is some logic which he or she is talking. Fine. Now that is a content on which you should be thinking. You had sufficient time to prepare for the subject. Mind you, this, had you been, since you both except one, I think Biju, who is doing engineering course, other two of you are in the same threshold for joining engineering or medical college. Sorry. Now, you must note down various issues in which appear in the newspaper, in a notebook or some such place where you could refer it to a day prior to your group discussion or interview of the show. One. Second issue which I noticed is, while Sean had given a lot of break in between his talk, neither Biju nor Dia, you didn't jump in to take the next lead. You should avail earliest opportunity to speak. As I said, he has initiated the subject with his knowledge available, but his delivery was broken. A lot of space he left and then he picked up. And that left and picked up gap is sufficient for you to, any one of you, to jump in and start the discussion. It is all right, three of you here only, but in a competitive world, maybe people will not permit you to speak. So remember that, avail the earliest opportunity to speak and give out your views. Not only that, you have certain views kept secret in your mind. If you delay your delivery, somebody else will take it out. Have you got me what I'm telling you? If Biju had some point in his mind and he kept waiting, let Sean finish or let Dia finish, then I'll speak. If they would have spoken the same point, you are only repeating the other chap's point. Are you getting me? Therefore, avail the earliest opportunity to speak. And when you take up an issue, logically from beginning till end, speak and stop. Do not jump from one to another. Here in this case, all of you spoke three different options which I gave. That's fine, but you could have gone for a little more deliberately. But I'm glad that you could speak well, all of you. Congratulations. Develop this habit of identifying, sifting the knowledge, noting it down for your future reference, and speaking, public speaking. And there is a tendency of all of us to say in between. You know, it is, you're thinking for the next word. You got me? Like now I'll practice, show it to you. Then you got and you speak. This is, you're waiting, you're thinking as to what you should do. No, cut that out. You know, when you speak, the pause which you give to get your next word or sentence should be cut out. That tendency should be cut out. Good. Congratulations, all of you have done well. Let's give them a good hand, all of us. Come. Okay. I think I finished. Thank you very much for bearing with me, and I hope you all have got something out of it. If not, you are free to ask me. My number is known to everybody. Right from the beginning, I was with the Vijayavazhi, so most of the people know my number. You can call me up, or any subject of interview or anything of that sort. You can take my support. I'll be very glad to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Panicker sir, for the class, as well as encouraging our dear students, Bridgen, Dia, and Sean to engage in a group discussion on a very relevant topic. And we also thank dear Bridgen, Dia, and Sean for showing their interest in their in the way they collect knowledge, as well as in the way they communicate. We thank you, dear sir, for your for the little corrections that you have shown us, and we hope that we work on them, and especially during a group discussion, what all we need to keep in mind. Personally, on a personal level, it was very encouraging and enlightening, and I thank you a lot. And for the official vote of thanks, I would like to call on Alina Mary Roy from Kannangod side.
എന്നെ ഏൽപ്പിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന കർത്തവ്യം എല്ലാവർക്കും നന്ദി പറയുകയാണ്. സൂം മീറ്റിങ്ങിലൂടെ വിജയവഴി എന്ന പ്രോഗ്രാമിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കാൻ തന്ന കൃപയ്ക്കായി ആദ്യം ദൈവത്തോട് നന്ദി പറയുന്നു. നമ്മെ നയിക്കുന്ന അഭിമന്യ റവറൻ ഡോക്ടർ എബ്രഹാം മാർ പൗലോസ് എപ്പിസ്കോപ്പ തിരുമേനിയോടുള്ള നന്ദി സ്നേഹം അറിയിച്ചുകൊള്ളുന്നു. പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ച് സഹായിച്ച ഷാജി തോമസ് സാറിനോടും നമ്മെ എവിടെയും സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്ത അക്സാമറിൻ എബ്രഹാമിനോടുള്ള നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുന്നു. ഡിസ്കഷന് വേണ്ടി എങ്ങനെ തയ്യാറെടുക്കണം, നേതൃത്വം നൽകുമ്പോൾ എന്തെല്ലാം കാര്യങ്ങൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കണം എന്ന വിഷയത്തെ പറ്റി മുഖ്യ പ്രഭാഷണം തന്ന മേജർ ജനറൽ MK വർഗീസ് പണിക്കർ സാറിനോടുള്ള നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുന്നു. ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാമിന് നേതൃത്വം നൽകിയ രൂപൻ അച്ഛനോടും നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുന്നു. ഇന്ന് സൂമിലൂടെ കടന്നു വന്ന എല്ലാവരോടും എല്ലാ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളോടും എല്ലാ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളോടും അച്ഛന്മാരോടും നന്ദി.
സമാപന പ്രാർത്ഥനയ്ക്കായിട്ട് ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട PN അലക്സാണ്ടർ അച്ഛനെ ക്ഷണിച്ചു. അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യണം. കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല ഇപ്പൊ.
അച്ഛൻ അവിടുന്ന് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പൊ ശരിയായി. ഇപ്പൊ കേൾക്കാമായിരിക്കും.
കേൾക്കാം അച്ഛൻ.
ദൈവമായ കർത്താവെ, പതിവ് പോലെ ഈ മാസവും ഞങ്ങളുടെ ക്രമീകരണം അനുസരിച്ച് വിജയവഴിയുടെ ക്ലാസുകൾ ഞങ്ങളുടെ കൂട്ടം ഭംഗിയായി ക്രമീകരിപ്പാൻ ദൈവം സഹായിച്ചതുകൊണ്ട് ഞങ്ങൾ ഇതിനെ സ്തുതിക്കുന്നു. 40,000 സോൾജേഴ്സ്, 40,000 പട്ടാളക്കാരുടെ മേധാവിയായിരുന്ന ഒരു പിതാവിനെ പോലെ ഞങ്ങളെ സ്നേഹിക്കുന്ന ഞങ്ങളുടെ പണിക്കർ സാർ, മേജർ ജനറൽ ഞങ്ങളോട് കൂടെ ഉള്ളത് കൊണ്ട് ഞങ്ങൾ ഇതിനെ സ്തുതിക്കുന്നു. ചെറിയ ഒരു ശാരീരികമായ ബലഹീനത നിന്റെ മകനും സഹധർമ്മിക്കും വന്നു. എന്നാൽ അത് തരണം ചെയ്യുകയും വളരെ ശ്രദ്ധയോടുകൂടെ how to acquaint with group discussion അതിൻ്റെ ചിത്രങ്ങൾ കാണിച്ച് ഓരോ ഘട്ടമായി ഒരു ടീം പ്ലെയർ, ടീം മെമ്പർ, അതിന് വേണ്ട റീസണിങ് എബിലിറ്റി മുതൽ വന്ന് അതിൻ്റെ ഇനിഷ്യേറ്റീവ്, ഒപ്പം തന്നെ ക്രമേണ അത് ഞങ്ങൾ എങ്ങനെ ഒരു ചർച്ചയിൽ ശ്രദ്ധയോടുകൂടെ ലിസൺ കെയർഫുള്ളി അതിൻ്റെ കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുകയും മുൻപോട്ട് വന്ന് ഞങ്ങളുടെ ആശയങ്ങളെ എങ്ങനെ ഞങ്ങൾ പൊതുവിൽ കൊണ്ടുവരണം, മറ്റുള്ളവരുടെ എങ്ങനെ മാനിക്കണം, ഈ കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം വന്ന് ഉക്രൈനിലെ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളുടെ പ്രശ്നം, ഒരാഗോള പ്രശ്നം, അത് ഞങ്ങളുടെ ചർച്ചയ്ക്ക് കൊണ്ടുവന്ന് 3 തലങ്ങളിലായി ഞങ്ങളുടെ ശ്രദ്ധ തിരിച്ച് 3 ഞങ്ങളുടെ മക്കൾ എല്ലാവരുടെയും പ്രതിനിധികളായി അതിൽ സംസാരിച്ചു. ഇത് ഞങ്ങളുടെ തുടർന്നുള്ള ഒരുക്കത്തിനും കാര്യങ്ങളെ വിശാലമായി കാണുന്നതും സംസാരിക്കുന്ന വിഷയത്തെക്കുറിച്ച് ആഴമായ പരിജ്ഞാനവും അനുബന്ധ വിഷയങ്ങളെക്കുറിച്ച് സാമാന്യ ജ്ഞാനവും ഇത് ലഭിക്കുന്നതിന് ഒരു പക്ഷേ വളരെ ലളിതമെന്ന് തോന്നുന്ന ഒരു ദിനപത്രം, അത് സാധിക്കുമെങ്കിൽ ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ദിനപത്രം തന്നെ, അതിൽ അന്തർദേശീയ വിഷയങ്ങൾ, ദേശീയ വിഷയങ്ങൾ, പ്രാദേശിക വിഷയങ്ങൾ അതിൻ്റെ പ്രയോറിറ്റി കൊടുത്ത് വായിക്കുക മാത്രമല്ല അത് സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വെക്കണം. ഏറ്റവും അടിസ്ഥാനപരമായ കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഇതെല്ലാം ഞങ്ങളുടെ സാറ് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ശാന്തമായിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു തന്നു. ഈ ക്ലാസ് തുടർന്നുള്ള 2022 സ്കൂൾ കോളേജുകളിലെ പരീക്ഷ ഇപ്പോൾ ദിവസങ്ങളുടെയാകും നടക്കും. ഈ പഠന വർഷത്തിന്റെ ഇനിഷ്യേറ്റീവായി തീരുവാൻ ദൈവത്തിന്റെ ആത്മാവ് സഹായിക്കണമേ. ഞങ്ങളുടെ തിരുമേനിയെ തൃക്കരങ്ങൾ പരമേൽപ്പിക്കുന്നു. ഞങ്ങളുടെ പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട അച്ഛന്മാർ, ജ്യോതി അച്ഛൻ മുതൽ ഞങ്ങളുടെ അച്ഛന്മാർ, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് രൂപേനച്ഛൻ വളരെ ഭംഗിയായി അതൊക്കെ നിയന്ത്രിച്ചു. ഞങ്ങളുടെ കുഞ്ഞുങ്ങൾ സ്വാഗതം, നന്ദി, പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുന്നു. ഓരോ ഡിസ്കഷനിൽ വരുന്നു, വളരെ ശ്രദ്ധയോടുകൂടെ ഇരിക്കുന്നു. ഈ നല്ല പോസിറ്റീവ് റെസ്പോൺസ് കർത്താവെ തുടരാൻ ഇടയാക്കി തീർക്കണം. ഇനിയും കാലഗതികൾ അനുകൂലമെങ്കിൽ പഴയ രീതിയിൽ തന്നെ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് 3 ദിവസം 4 ദിവസത്തെ ക്യാമ്പായി ഞങ്ങളുടെ സ്പിരിച്വാലിറ്റിയിൽ വന്ന് താമസിക്കുന്നതിനും അവിടുത്തെ ഒരു നല്ല കളക്ഷൻസ് ഓഫ് ബുക്സ് അതൊക്കെ ഞങ്ങളൊരു റീഡിങ് ഹാബിറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് കൊണ്ടുവരാനും ഒക്കെ അവിടെ നിയന്ത്രിക്കണം. ഞങ്ങളുടെ ചെറിയ ആരംഭങ്ങളെ ദൈവമേ അതിനെ ഫലവത്താക്കി തീർക്കുന്ന പിതാവേ, കോവിഡാനന്തകാലം, ഒരു സത്യാന്വേഷണ ആ അനന്തരകാലം, അതൊക്കെ ഞങ്ങൾ ഉൾക്കൊണ്ട് ഈ തലമുറയിൽ ഉത്തമ പൗരന്മാരായി റെസ്പോൺസിബിൾ സിറ്റിസൺഷിപ്പിൽ പഠിക്കുക മാത്രമല്ല സ്കൂളിലും കോളേജിലും ഞങ്ങൾ മാതൃകയുള്ള ആൺകുട്ടികൾ പെൺകുട്ടികളാകാൻ ദൈവത്തിന്റെ ആത്മാവ് സഹായിക്കണമേ. യേശുവിന്റെ നാമത്തിൽ അടിയങ്ങളുടെ പ്രാർത്ഥനകളെ കൈക്കൊള്ളുമാറാകണമേ. ആമീൻ. പിതാവായ ദൈവത്തിന്റെ സ്നേഹം, ഏകപുത്രന്റെ കൃപ, പരിശുദ്ധാത്മാവിന്റെ സംബന്ധവും സഹവാസം സ്വർഗസ്ഥ പിതാവേ, വിജയവഴിയുടെ മക്കളാകുന്ന ഞങ്ങളുടെ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾ, അവിടെ രക്ഷകർത്താക്കൾ, ഞങ്ങളുടെ സീനിയർ മെമ്പേഴ്സ്, ഭദ്രാസനത്തിലെ വൈദികർ മുഴുവനും നേതൃത്വം കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട് മക്കളോടുകൂടെ